You feeling that weird vibe in the air too? Because today's Dolphins news came with a quiet kind of warning. And whenever a franchise starts saying out loud what nobody wanted to say before, it usually means big change is coming. Some decisions look boring on the surface, front office stuff, but they mess with how a team survives in January. Big names are suddenly question marks, and there's a race against the clock for a leader who might not be who the fan base expected at all. You're not ready for what dropped today, so settle in, hit that like, and let's get straight into it. Are you really ready to face reality? All right, Dolphins Nation, picture this. The new guy running the show, Sullivan, the GM brought in to clean up the mess, finally speaks on the elephant in the room. You know exactly which one. Those freezing games that knock us out every single year. He comes out and says our division runs through Buffalo, New England, and New York, cold weather cities. Then he drops this line. There's a saying in our business, fast gets slow, but big doesn't get small. Let that sink in. Sullivan is straight up saying our speed-based identity melts in the cold, but size and power travel. And no, this wasn't coach speak. After 7-10 season in 2025 and McDaniel getting fired, that was a statement. And he keeps going. He says we have to be dominant on the offensive line, dominant on the defensive line, and explosive and athletic on the perimeter. Translation for Dolphins fans, we can't live off speed alone anymore. We need dudes up front who collapse pockets, keep Tua upright, and control the middle of the field. Think about December in Buffalo. We slip, they don't. Sullivan knows it. Without that foundation, the playoffs are just a dream. Look at the history. No Super Bowl in 50 years. No division title since 2008. That 7-10 season was embarrassing, and the fan base let it fly online. Everyone asking the same thing. Why don't we ever build tough? Now here's the real chess move. His first mission is finding the head coach for 2026. Monday comes with 3 serious interviews. Kelvin Shepard, Lions defensive coordinator, a guy known for turning defenses into nightmares. Patrick Graham from the Raiders, familiar face, knows the Hard Rock vibe. And the third name, Jeff Hafley from the Packers. Adam Schefter dropped it on X, Monday in Miami, Tuesday in Tennessee. This could move fast. Like when Stefanski came off the board years ago. Hafley has college roots, but real NFL credentials. The question is simple. Can he bring the dominance Sullivan is talking about? Because the impact is massive. A coach like that changes everything. Strong lines so Tua can cook. A defense that doesn't fold when the temperature drops. The fan base is split. Some want a proven veteran. Others want to swing on upside. Me, I'm intrigued. This finally feels like a serious rebuild, not patchwork. But if they miss, 2026 turns into another 7-10 real quick. Sullivan is building from the inside out, and that affects every snap. Fins, is Hafley the guy? Or do you want Graham? Because trust me, that wasn't even the wildest part of the day. Hold up, Fins, because while we're still processing Sullivan's vision of trench warfare, the coaching market turns into a straight-up hurricane and leaves us stunned. Imagine dreaming about a Super Bowl winning coach and waking up with the cupboard empty. John Harbaugh, the man who took Baltimore to a ring in 2012, just signed a massive 5-year deal with the Giants. After McDaniel was gone, his name was everywhere in Dolphin circles. Fans were begging for it. It was always a long shot, but watching that door slam still hurts. Then Kevin Stefanski, formerly of the Browns, lined up for a second interview with us. Gone. Took the Falcons job. Playoff resume, real credibility. And just like that, vanished. The market dried up in about 24 hours. Miami is hunting for Mike's replacement, and what's left? Coordinators with no head coaching experience. Jeff Hafley jumps to the front of the line. Years in college and the NFL, but never the top seat. Signs are pointing his way. And that's where the tension kicks in. Can a first-time head coach handle a franchise that's been starving for 5 decades? The impact on the season would be huge. A veteran coach brings structure and quicker wins. A rookie head coach means risk, maybe another slow rebuild, maybe another 7-10. Dolphins Twitter is on fire. Some fans yelling they're done with experiments. Others saying Hafley can build a real culture. From a strategy standpoint, losing out on Harbaugh and Stefanski hurts. That's edge you don't get back. Buffalo's still cold and dangerous. New England's rebuilding. And we need someone who can win now, not sell a vision for 2028. Hafley is known for aggressive defenses, which fits Sullivan's plan to dominate the lines. But if it flops, Tua takes hits, and Tyreek, if he's even still here, wastes prime years. This decision defines 2026, playoffs or a top 5 pick. I'm uneasy because inexperience can turn into genius or disaster real fast. Dolphins running out of bullets for big names. Fins, does Hafley save this thing or sink it? Would you take that gamble? And somehow, it gets even worse, because what comes next is the kind of news that makes your stomach drop. While we're stressing over the coaching vacuum, ESPN drops a bomb. Their projection has the Dolphins cutting Tyreek Hill to fix the cap, not moving on from Tua. Yeah, that Tyreek Hill. The cheetah. Now 31 years old, coming off a knee injury that wrecked his 2025 season. Marcel Louis-Jacques breaks it down. A $51 million cap hit in 2026 with no guaranteed money left. A post-June one-cut freeze up around $35 million with manageable dead money. Age plus injuries equals risk. The big question, does he ever get back to all-pro form? There are signs everywhere. Nostalgic posts on his socials, pre-Dolphins vibes. Front office turnover screams reset. Moving on from Tua would be insanity. Franchise quarterbacks don't grow on palm trees. So the logic becomes brutal. Protect the QB. Reallocate money to the offensive line or younger receivers. The impact would be massive. Without Hill, that perimeter explosion Sullivan wants is gone. Tua becomes more of a distributor than a star. Fans are split right down the middle. Some yelling cut the expensive guy. Others calling it betrayal. Without Hill, does 7 to 10 turn into 5 to 12? Maybe. But that cut could fund the draft and bring in cold weather-ready linemen and defenders. There's one path where Tyreek stays. A restructure, medical clearance, a pay cut for flexibility. The new philosophy feels clear. Flexibility over expensive elite talent. It makes sense on paper, even if it hurts in the chest. Fins, do you cut the king or keep paying the price? Sullivan finally speaks on the cold, demands dominance in the trenches, and targets a coach like Hafley as a calculated risk for 2026. The market snatches up Harbaugh and Stefanski, forcing Miami toward new blood that could either flip the script or deepen the pain. And Tyreek, ESPN sees a cap casualty to protect Tua and fuel a younger rebuild. It's raw emotion, from 7 to 10 to glory, or more heartbreak. This is Dolphins football. If you're riding with it, show love, subscribe, hit the bell, and tell me straight up, do you cut Tyreek or save the cheetah? Which coach do you want leading this team? Let's argue it out in the comments, because this is our team and our voice matters.